It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. Can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? Can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? The situation is not open to interpretation. The situation is not open to interpretation. His grandfather was a bounty hunter. His grandfather was a bounty hunter. I'm not sure I can do this, but I'll try. I'm not sure I can do this, but I'll try. He wouldn't be vice president after a weekend. He wouldn't be vice president after a weekend. The use of force is not allowed. The use of force is not allowed. The 21st century has brought many changes. The 21st century has brought many changes. Aren't we done at noon? Aren't we done at noon? Could they be hydrologists then? Could they be hydrologists then? Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. His sister was the second man. His sister was the second man. Your cousins were rowers. Your cousins were rowers. He goes to the market on his bike. He goes to the market on his bike. Before we sign the contract, let's review the terms and conditions. Before we sign the contract, let's review the terms and conditions. Your grandparents are sailors. Your grandparents are sailors. Am I not a potter now? Am I not a potter now? Could this be the best decision for the company? Could this be the best decision for the company? They cannot lie. They cannot lie. Do they create? Do they create? Does it every year? Does it every year? Am I a rower before? Am I a rower before? I was seeing so much that I couldn't see the light. I was seeing so much that I couldn't see the light. His nephew is an auditor. His nephew is an auditor. Your grandma is a grocer. Your grandma is a grocer. Were you a cashier a minute ago? Were you a cashier a minute ago? Your son is a designer. Your son is a designer. I watch TV in the evenings. I watch TV in the evenings. Can't he suppress? Can't he suppress? Then he may not be a linguist. Then he may not be a linguist. His grandfathers were columnists. His grandfathers were columnists. I need a break. I need a break. Wouldn't he choose later? Wouldn't he choose later? Are they threatened now? Are they threatened now? The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. He played football in the park. He played football in the park. Isn't he usually a greengrocer? Isn't he usually a greengrocer? You may not be able to analyze it right away. You may not be able to analyze it right away. Didn't you wake up at 2 a.m. before? Didn't you wake up at 2 a.m. before? His aunt is a writer. His aunt is a writer. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if I can trust you. Don't they have to deal with it yearly? Don't they have to deal with it yearly? He can come at noon. He can come at noon. Was his stepfather a greengrocer? Was his stepfather a greengrocer? They were supporting 1 a.m. the previous morning. They were supporting 1 a.m. the previous morning. Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they don't work. What is the biggest difference between these two products? What is the biggest difference between these two products? We can't shoot warriors every day. We can't shoot warriors every day.